In many of our training courses, which involve the analysis of large data sets, particularly where they use the Linux operating system, rather than trying to get people to run these programs on their own machines, we use cloud computing to do this. What we require, therefore, is that people attending the courses are able to connect to a cloud server which we've set up for them using a authentication key which we have sent them in advance of the course. What I'm going to show you this morning is just a quick run through how to use the file that we send out to authenticate yourself with a cloud server and to make an initial connection to it. What we've done in this instance is to set up a test server, which won't actually have any data or anything on it. It's just a way that we can get people to test this out in advance of the course so things work smoothly when they actually do it. I'm going to show you the process that we're going to go through and how to do this. In this instance, I'm going to do it on Windows. There will be a separate video that you should be able to find in our channel, which does the same thing on macOS as well. So if you're a Mac user, switch across to the other video and we'll show you the equivalent walkthrough in that. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen so you can see what I'm doing on here. So when you sign up for the course, before the course runs, we will send you normally a zip file of data. And if I just open up Windows Explorer, on this machine, I've just unzipped this into my documents folder. So if I look into documents and course data, I've called it in this instance, you'll have lots of stuff in there, but somewhere inside there will be a file that looks like this. So this will be a PEM file, PEM. And this is an authentication file. It's a small file that just contains a cryptographic key that allows you to authenticate yourself with a server. It may not have the same name as this. In fact, it almost certainly won't. It won't be called babrumcourse.pem. It'll be called something else. And depending on your settings in Windows Explorer, you may not see the .pem extension. It depends how you've set your preferences, but you should, under the type here, see that it is a PEM file. What we're going to do is initially just take this from wherever you originally unzipped it, and we're going to copy it onto our desktop because that's the easiest place for us to find it again. Okay, so I'm going to drag it from there and copy it to my desktop. So I've got it there. To actually use that file then to connect to the remote server, I'm going to need another piece of software. And again, we'll have sent you details of how to install this in advance. But what we're going to do is to run a program called Git Bash. And this is what's called a shell program. So it's a text interface that allows us initially to make the connection to the remote server, but also then will let us run all the commands and the exercises when we're actually on that server. So from my start menu, I'm just going to type bash in, and then I should see the Git Bash app appear. And from there, I can start it. Okay, this a bit bigger. Okay, so we're now in the Bash text interface. So in order to connect to the server, we need to locate the PEM file that I've just copied onto my desktop. The session in here will start in my home directory. So what I need to do is to move into my desktop. My desktop is just a folder inside my home directory. So to do that, if I click into here and then type CD and then desktop with a capital D, the little prompt here should change to say desktop now, so I know that it's worked. And if I want to be doubly sure, what I can do is to list the PEM file that I copied before. So in this case, mine was called babrumcourse.pem. Yours may have a different name, so you would put in whatever name you had. So here I can say ls-babrumcourse.pem. And if I see that name come up underneath, then I know that it's worked. To actually make the connection to the remote server, the one other piece of information I will need, which we again will have sent out to you in advance, is what's called the IP address of the server. So this will be the name of the server that we're going to connect to, and it will just be a series of 4 numbers separated by dots. Okay, so in my case, the server I'm connecting to is .176.219.60, but your number again will be different to that probably, and we'll have sent that out to you as well. To actually initiate the connection then, we put in a text command, and that command is SSH space -i, and then the name of the PEM file that we sent you. So -i says this is the authentication that I'm going to use. So again, in my case, it's going to be babrumcourse.pem, but you would type whatever the name of the PEM file that we sent you was. Then we need the user name that you're going to use to connect to, and that will always be EC2-user, which is the standard user for the Amazon EC2 web service that we use to create these cloud servers, and then an @ symbol, and then whatever the IP address that we sent you was. So in my case, it's going to be 35.176.219.60. And when I press return, it will then connect to this server as this user using this file to authenticate, okay, which is what we want. Now, because this is our test server, instead of just logging in normally, we'll actually run an automated program on the other end just to show that it's worked. So if I connect to this, the first time I connect to this, before it will actually run, I will get a message saying, oh, I've never connected to this server before. Are you sure you want to trust it? Okay, so you'll only see this the very first time you connect. So say yes, just type yes and press enter. And then it should connect. And if it all works, you should see something like this, a big blue screen saying, congratulations, you've logged in successfully. And just so we can keep track of who on the course has managed to connect successfully, it just asks us to put our name in. So if I do that on here and then press enter, it'll say, thank you, we're all done. Press any key to log out, and the program will shut down and the connection to the server will also shut down, and it will put us back on our desktop. And if you can get that far, then you're all good, and you'll go through exactly the same process when you come on the course. If you have any problems and are not able to get through this far, then please contact Babrum Bioinformatics, so babrum.bioinformatics@babrum.ac.uk, or the instructor for the course will probably have given you their details directly, and we can sort out any problems that you have. Okay, hope you enjoy the course.